Okay, good morning. Today I came with a new topic. In the last class, we discussed about the Laplace transform, inverse Laplace transform, initial value and final value theorems, and problems related to Laplace transform. Today I discuss why we are studying this Laplace transform. What is the purpose of studying this Laplace transform in our circuits or networks? Okay, so here we do the transformation of the circuits and the signals in the S domain. How can we convert or how can we use this Laplace transform for the analysis of circuits? Okay. After this, we studied Laplace transform and how do the inverse Laplace transform. That is, we are equipped with to use Laplace transform to analyze circuits. So, for the analysis of circuits by using Laplace transform, there are mainly three steps. The first step is we will transform the circuit from time domain to S domain. So in the last two modules we will deal with the circuits. In that circuits we will write V of t or I of t, right? I1, I2, etc. So that will be in time domain. So first we will convert that time domain to S domain. We will do the conversion. The conversion means it's transform. The transform is taking place by using Laplace. Okay, so the first step is transform the circuit from the time domain to the S domain or Laplace domain. Okay, the second thing is we will use the normal circuit analysis methods by that is nodal analysis, mesh analysis, or source transformation or superposition theorem, or whatever the things needed to analyze the circuit or in order to find the voltage, current, power, etc., which we already learned in the first and second modules, or we can apply the KVL, KCL, etc. In S domain we will do the analysis by using these methods. Okay, and then the last step is take the inverse transform of the solution, and thus we get the solution in the time domain. Then you will have a doubt why we are going for this lengthy procedure. Right? So in time domain the analysis is somewhat difficult in such cases. In that case we will use the Laplace transform or frequency domain or S domain. Okay, so first in order to do the Laplace transform, we have to transform the circuit into S domain. That type of circuits is known as transformed circuit. Okay, this transformed circuit will in the transformed circuit we will do the analysis, that is mesh and node, etc. Okay. Okay, in order to do the analysis or the transformation from time domain to S domain have to taking place. So we have the circuit elements: a resistor, capacitor, and inductor. So first we have to convert this circuit elements into S domain. So we can check what happens to each component. So first I take it as a resistor. So the resistor, the relation is V of t equal to I into R. So if we are representing in time domain, we will call it as V of t is equal to R into I of t. So we call this equation as in time domain. How can we convert that into Laplace domain? So first we will take the Laplace transform of this equation, that t is changing to S, and the small letters will be capital letters will be used for the notation of Laplace transform. So we have an equation V of S is equal to R into I of S. Okay, so this is a circuit. The time domain circuit is this, and the second one is Laplace domain equation. So here the change is, here there is I of t is changing to I of s, and V of t is changing to V of s. Similarly, there is no change in the circuit parameter, that is resistor R. So this r is not depending on the time function, that is why it is taken as a constant. So there is no change when we are taking the Laplace. So r is itself as r in time domain and also in the frequency domain. Okay, next parameter or next circuit element is inductor. So this inductor having a property which depends on the frequency. It is entirely different from the resistor. Resistor does not depend on the frequency. So in the time domain and in the frequency domain or in the S domain, the resistance will be same. But in the case of inductor, it will be different. So here we have an equation V of t is equal to L into di of t by dt. Okay, so when we are taking the Laplace transform, V of s is equal to L into what is the Laplace transform of di of t by dt? It will be s into I of s minus I of 0, where I of 0 minus is the initial condition, right? So that is equal to s L into I of s minus L into I of 0. So this is the S domain equation. From this equation we can draw the S domain equivalent. So this first figure indicates the time domain equation. Here the I of t is the time domain and I of 0 is the initial current flowing through the inductor, and V of t is the, and in the time domain the inductance value is L, right? L, it does not it is the inductance value is L. So when we are taking the transform domain or Laplace domain, V of t become V of s and I of t become I of s, and from this equation we can write the or we can draw the equivalent circuit for L in S domain. Here the in time domain, here only L, and here we have an SL. So the inductance will be SL in S domain, because here we multiply with the S with the L. Okay, so here SL, and also there is an initial value, so that initial value of voltage is L into I of 0. So we represent it by using a voltage source with the value L into I of 0. We here nothing but here the we will represent this voltage. So the V of S is this, that V of S is equal to S into L into I of S. I of S is the current flowing through this path, and minus here, so it will be minus L into I of 0. So the total voltage will be S into L into I of S minus L into I of 0. Okay, so this is the series representation. We can also represent it by using the parallel circuit. Here the when we are drawing a parallel inductor or impedance, the source will be current source. So the current value is I of 0 by S. So keep in mind that this is the transformed circuit of inductor. So one series inductance become S into L. In the previous case, resistor is nothing changed, it is R itself, but in the case of inductor, it will be changing to S into L, and additionally there will be it depends on the initial value. If there exists initial value, there will be a voltage source or current source. If it have no initial value, this voltage source and current source value will be 0. Okay. Okay, next one is capacitor. Capacitor have a current equation I of t equal to C into dV by dt, right? So this when we are taking the Laplace transform of this equation, what happens? This I of t is equal to I of s, and C into dV of t by dt, and here it is a differential, so we apply the differential Laplace equation, that is s into V of s minus V of 0 minus, that is equal to SC V of s minus C V of 0 minus, right? So from this when we are writing the equation for V of s, we got it as V of s is equal to 1 by SC I of s plus V0 by S. So when we are implementing this or we will implement or we will draw the equivalent circuit of this equation, and it will be this 1 by SC will be the impedance offered by the capacitance, and V of 0 minus S will be the voltage source value, right? So this will be one voltage value and this will be voltage value. So total voltage will be 1 by SC into I of S. This will be impedance into I of S, that Z into I, it will be V, and this V of 0 by S will be initial voltage, right? So we can represent that by using this diagram. The time domain, we have only the capacitor value. Input voltage is V of t, the current flowing through the capacitor is I of t, and the initial voltage across this capacitor is V of 0. So when we are representing this capacitor circuit in S domain, so this will be the circuit. Here there will be two components. The first one is the capacitor with impedance 1 by SC, and there will be a voltage source with value V0 by S, and this V0 by S come from here in this equation, right? So V0 by S, so that will be the initial voltage component value. Okay, so this will be the representation using a voltage source. So always we will represent the circuit with a voltage source with a series impedance. Similarly, we can represent this by using a current source. When we are representing the current source, the impedance will be in parallel. The impedance will be same, that is 1 by SC, and the current value will be C into V of 0. Then will be V0 of S, V of 0 by S by 1 by SC. That will be the current value, C into V0 S, right? So these are the changes when we are changing time domain to S domain. The resistance will be unchanged, and the inductor will have a voltage value S into impedance will be S into L, so V of S will be S into L into I of S, and the capacitor voltage will be 1 by SC into I of S. So the capacitive impedance will be 1 by SC. Okay, so these are the representations. So you have to keep in mind when we are taking the Laplace transform equations in a mesh, voltage equations for the resistor will be V of S is equal to R into I of S. For an inductor, we will be S L I of S, not L into I of S. Okay, it is S into L I of S. Similarly, capacitance impedance will be 1 by SC. From this, you can understand this inductive impedance is directly proportional to S, and capacitive impedance is indirectly proportional to S. So that should be keep in mind. So here the thing that I already mentioned, it is Z of S is equal to I of S in V of S by I of S. The impedances of the three elements is given here. Resistive impedance will not change when we are changing from time domain to frequency domain or S domain, or whatever be the source value, AC value or DC value, the resistor value will be unaffected, or it will be constant for AC and DC. But in the case of inductor, the DC resistance and AC resistance will be different. Here impedance Z of S is equal to S into L, directly proportional, and capacitive impedance is 1 by SC, that is inversely proportional, right? So the Y of S, it is known as admittance. Admittance is nothing but it is the reciprocal of impedance. Impedance is Z of S, that is same as the similar, like not same, it is similar like resistance. Resistance is V by I. So we will call it as impedance because it contains the reactive components also, the inductor and capacitor components having a reactive, that means imaginary and real parts will be that. That is why we will represent that by using a notation Z of S. And that is known as impedance. The inverse of this impedance is known as admittance, that is denoted by Y of S, that is equal to I of S by V of S. Okay, so these are the impedances of an element in S domain. Resistance will be R, inductor will be S into L, and capacitor will be 1 by SC. So you have to know the or keep in mind these three values to do the problems in or circuit analysis using Laplace transform. Okay. So next we will discuss some basic signals that we are using as an input to the circuits. So the first one is an impulse. Impulse is nothing but it will have a value when t equal to 0, and it will not having any value when t greater than or equal to 0. That means it is an impulse. Impulse means it will sudden change. Sudden change means it will have a short duration, but it will have an amplitude value for a short duration. So t equal to 0 it will be 1, and t equal to 0.1 it will be 0. So this we can represent it by using an equation. F of t is equal to 1 when t equal to 0 and 0 when t greater than 0. So this f of t equal to 1, when we are taking the Laplace transform, f of s is equal to 1. So keep in mind the Laplace transform of impulse function is 1, not 1 by s, it is 1, right? And another basic signal that we are using for the analysis is step or unit step. We can call this as unit impulse because its amplitude is 1. If it is amplitude is a, we call it as just impulse. And similar, like we will call this as unit step when the amplitude is 1, and if it is magnitude 1, 3 or 4, we call it as just a step signal. The step signal is nothing but it will have a value 1 when t greater than 0, right? So this will be the representation of uh, unit step signal. So here f of t is equal to 1, its Laplace transform is 1 by s, 1 by s. And next one is a ramp signal. Ramp signal is f of t is equal to t. That means it is linearly increasing as t increases, function value also increases. And f of t is equal to t, the Laplace transform will be 1 by s square. And exponential signal we can represent it by using e raised to at. It will be like this. And what is the Laplace transform of e raised to at? It is nothing but it is 1 by s minus a. Similarly, sinusoidal signal f of t is equal to sin omega t. And what is the Laplace transform of sin omega t? It is omega by s square plus omega square. Similar like cos signal also there. F of t is equal to cos omega t. It will be s by s square plus omega square. So these are the some basic function that we are using for the analysis of circuits. So the Laplace transform of these basic signals should be kept in mind. Okay, these are some table. So you have to write this table and paste it in your notebook in order to refer frequently. And there are some operations already that we are discussing in the properties of Laplace transform, right? So next is why we are going for all this Laplace transforms, because we have to analyze, we need to analyze the circuits. So for that analysis purpose we are using this Laplace transform. These are the one of the applications of mathematics in engineering, right? So what we have to do in the circuit analysis using Laplace transform is nothing but first we have a time domain circuit in order to find a general solution. So first we convert the circuit into an S domain. How this conversion taking place, that is already we discussed. The R is changing and L is changing, capacitor C is changing, like that. So that means inductance value is taken as S into L, and capacitive impedance we take it as 1 by SC, and resistance we take as such, that is R itself. Okay, so we get an S equation when we are writing the node equation or mesh equation or KVL, KCL, etc. Right. So we got a set of equations and solve that equation. So we get a response in S domain. Right. So we get a Laplace equation, final equation for I of S or V of S, something like that. So that V of S, but we need the time domain equations for the voltage or current. So after solving these equations, we get the Laplace transform domain equations. So we have to convert that, or we have to determine the inverse Laplace transform of the desired response. So we get the desired time domain response. So these are the steps that we are adopting for further circuit analysis problems. So first we will, if you get a circuit, and the question will be asking to find the time domain response or transient analysis, something like that. So first we will convert that is into S domain equation, and then we apply the nodal mesh equations, etc., and we get a set of equations, and we solve that, and we got the parameter value v of s or I of s, and then we take the inverse Fourier transform. That will be the time domain response of the circuit or the system.